Jesus once told a parable to reveal the heart of God and the depth of the Father's love. This story is not only about a son who left, but about a father who never stopped waiting. There was a man who had two sons. They lived together in a peaceful home, under the warmth of the sun, surrounded by familiar land and daily provision. The older son worked faithfully in the fields, close to his father, fulfilling his responsibilities. But the younger son, his heart was restless. Though his body lived in his father's house, his mind was already far away. One day, he gathered the courage to speak. He said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance that belongs to me." It was a painful request. In that moment, the son was asking for independence without relationship, blessing without presence, and freedom without wisdom. The father understood the cost of that request, yet he did not raise his voice. He did not force his son to stay. With a heavy heart, the father divided his possessions between his two sons. Not long after that, the younger son gathered everything he had. He packed his belongings, turned his back on the familiar, and set out on a journey to a distant land. As he walked away, the road stretched long before him. Behind him stood a father watching in silence, and ahead of him a future full of unknown promises. In the distant country, everything felt new. The streets were busy. The nights were loud. The freedom felt intoxicating. With money in his hands and no one to answer to, the young man began to live recklessly. He spent freely. He trusted strangers. He chased pleasure. Day after day, the inheritance disappeared. The laughter faded. The friends vanished. And eventually, the money was gone. Then, disaster struck. A severe famine spread across the land. Food became scarce. Work became rare. Hope began to disappear. The young man, once wealthy, now found himself in need. Desperate, he hired himself out to a citizen of that country. The work was humiliating. He was sent into the fields to feed pigs. For a Jewish man, this was the lowest place imaginable. Surrounded by dirt, hunger, and shame, he watched the pigs eat, and he longed to fill his stomach with the food they were given. But no one offered him anything. Alone in the fields, empty and broken, the young man finally stopped running. In the silence of his despair, he came to his senses. He remembered home. He remembered his father. He said to himself, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough food? And here I am, starving to death. I will arise and go back to my father. I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" With no pride left, no excuses, and no demands, he stood up, weak, tired, but determined. And he began the long journey home. Each step was heavy. His clothes were torn. His feet were wounded. His heart was full of fear. He did not know how his father would respond. But while the son was still a long way off, the father saw him. Day after day, the father had been watching the road. And when he recognized that broken figure approaching from a distance, his heart was filled with compassion. The father did not wait. He ran. Ignoring dignity, ignoring appearances, he ran to his son. He threw his arms around him and kissed him. The son began his rehearsed confession. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father did not let him finish. He called out to his servants and said, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let us celebrate and be glad. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost, and now he is found." And the celebration began. Music filled the house. Joy replaced sorrow. What was broken was restored. But not everyone rejoiced. The older son was in the field. As he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. Confused, he asked one of the servants what was happening. "Your brother has returned," the servant replied, "and your father has welcomed him home safely." Anger filled the older son's heart. He refused to go inside. So the father went out and pleaded with him. The older son said, "All these years I have served you and never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who wasted your wealth, comes home, you celebrate him." The father looked at his son with love and said, "My son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost, and now he is found." And with that, Jesus left the question open. Will the older son enter the celebration? And more importantly, will we? Because this parable is not only about two sons. It is about a father whose arms are always open,